Hi everybody, I'm Chua. I'm an out and very proud transgender woman living in Singapore. I'm 44 years old, but I feel 23. So I born and assigned male at birth. I don't know who assigned me. I'm assigned male at birth. I'm born a transgender. I'm assigned male at birth, and I became aware I'm a trans woman when I'm around 10 when I'm 10 years old. And then when I become aware I'm a trans woman, the only mission in my life is to be that trans woman. So I underwent an SAS where at the age of 17. SAS is sex affirmative surgery. So I underwent that at the age of 17 because in Singapore, there's one unique aspect is anybody that is born male biologically need to enter national service. So in order to escape that, but thinking back, imagine being in a room full of naked men. I do regret my decision to transition so early. Okay, so now after my SAS, and there's one unique aspect in Singapore is after my sex affirmative surgery, I'm allowed to change my gender marker in my legal documents. So I'm living legally as a woman, protected under the Women's Charter Act. There's one charter, I think it's a Child B, that specifically protects me. So I can be molested, I can enter any toilets. So I'm living in Singapore legally as a woman. So when I came out and introduced myself as a transgender woman, most probably y'all will be very curious. Most of y'all will be very interested in my gender identity. And most probably you will see my gender identity first. And when you see my gender identity first, the questions that you will be interested, the question you'll be very curious to know is my breast real? When did I do my operation? Is it functional? Is it painful? You tend to have all these questions regarding my gender identity. My gender identity and my gender expressions belongs to me, and it's up to me to define it. So to answer the above questions, none of your business. So I did my SAS 20 years ago. So I really cannot remember how I feel. I cannot even remember what I did 20 days ago, much less 20 years ago. So gender identity, to me, a transgender woman, I'm not sure about the rest, but that's formed a very small part in my life. And when you talk about gender identity, and again, another aspect came up, you tend to think about the physical aspect. You tend to think about the physical aspect of my gender journey. You tend to ask whether is my breast real? What is the size of my boobs? You tend to ask me, do I orgasm as a woman? But then gender identity only formed a very small part in my life, as I tell you. It was my gender identity do not define me as a person. Change is the only constant. What is constant in my life is my gender identity is constant. I'm a transgender woman. But what is always changing is I'm always growing. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. And I'm still evolving as a person, as an individual. I'm still learning to be less bitchy. I'm still learning to be more forgiving. That's what is always changing in my life. So now we are talking, so how do you define me if you are not allowed to talk or ask about my gender identity? It's my values, it's my belief, it's my view on the death penalty, and do I really think orange is the new black? And my taste in men that define me as a person, not my gender identity. So we are very clear, I'll go through my first segment already. A transgender person is not about gender identity. My gender identity is a small part of my life, and it's up to me to define. So you don't have to worry about that. So a transgender person is how if I came out and introduced me as Chua, a transgender woman, then how if you are not allowed to ask questions about gender identity, and you only know me for 5 minutes, then how are you going to see, or how are you going to view me as a transgender woman? To me personally, if I see a transgender woman, if I see a transgender person, I see a celebration of love. I see a celebration of courage. When I see a transgender person who is able to live in their preferred gender or their preferred gender expression, I see love. They love themselves too much. They cannot live in pretense, and they must live in their real, authentic self. I also see courage. As a transgender woman living in Singapore, I have first-hand knowledge of the trial and tribulation, the difficulties, the challenges for a transgender woman to transition in life, to live their life as a transgender woman in Singapore. So I see courage. So what you see me when you see a transgender person, so what you see is a celebration. When you see a transgender person, it's a celebration of love. It's a celebration of courage. This is what I want you all to see. Not the discrimination part, not the challenges I'm going to overcome. That's up to me. That is for me to overcome. That's my journey. But I want you all to see it's a celebration of love and courage. It's never about gender identity. Because when you see a transgender person and you see the gender identity first, you will only see limitations. You will only say, oh, she's a transgender woman, she cannot do this. She's a transgender woman, she will never do that. She cannot achieve this. But if you see a transgender person and you see her as a person first, as an individual, you will see infinite possibility because as a human being. So how this celebration of love and courage helped me. Let me share a little bit about myself. First, we're in a school, so let me share a bit. I become aware I'm a transgender. When I'm in school, when some of the students use a not so good terms, a Malay term, bapuk, to call me, to tease me, to label me. And at that moment, I realized, oh my God, I'm a transgender woman. I've been living, I feel different. I know I'm different, but I never live my life any differently. I've been embracing, I do, when I discover I'm a transgender woman, I totally embrace my gender identity. I don't have self-doubts. I never ask myself why I'm like that. I never think that whether like that is wrong or right. To me, I totally embrace my gender identity. I love being a transgender woman. I truly excelled in the labels that they give me. I live out the labels that they give me. Let me share a bit of stories in my school days. So during my years, I was born in the 70s, so 80s, 90s, no Facebook, no Google, no smartphones. So school bullying. So when I was in school one day, so there was this group of very gung-ho boys. So they actually fill plastic bags with water inside. So it's a water ball. So they actually threw at me and two of my friends. The two of my friends, coincidentally, three of us transitioned later in life as trans women. So the three of us, they threw water ball, and I think they assumed that we will be very sad. Oh my God, who threw water ball at me? I'm going to land into depression. I'm going to question myself. I'm going to go home and cry. Why am I bullied? But we never did that. We love ourselves so much. We actually, what we did is we take the same plastic bag and we put the urine inside. We urinated into it and we threw it back at them. And then that time, no handphone. So before we threw it, we know they're going to chase us. So we actually make it a point to meet somewhere. And then when we threw the urine balls at them, they actually chase us and we have a wonderful time. I turned this bullying into something fun for me. Because you know why? I love myself too much. I refuse, because I see no wrong in me. And I'm so comfortable in myself. I see no wrong in me, so I refuse to believe that people will bully me because of my gender identity. People bully me because I'm weak. People may bully me because I'm small in status, a small size, very small hand, dainty legs. They will bully me, but they will never bully me because I refuse. I cannot think of why they would. At that time, at the very naive time, I know Google, I was thinking they would not bully me because of my gender identity, but it's such a nice fit on me. So I feel totally very comfortable in my gender identity, and then I think it shows up. I think I radiates rainbow colors because I'm so comfortable in my gender identity as a trans woman, and the school actually feel that vibes. So I was not seen as a girly boy. I actually am the only girl in the school of boys. And another incident is preferred name. So during that time we had to have a name tag at school. So we have our preferred name. So I choose my preferred name as Ginger. So very happily I make a tag preferred name, put Ginger, and then school prefect. So the school prefect go and complain to the schoolmaster, say why I use my preferred name. So never mind, I changed, but I put my preferred name and my given name. So it's like instead of being known as the only girl in school, I've been known as the student with the longest name tag. Ginger Chua. So I really have no cracks in my veneer as a trans woman for them to attack. I really enjoy my school days. I really feel and they really treat me like a little girl, the princess. I'm the one princess in the school. I remember one incident. That time I was bouncing, very happy, bouncing down the school hall stairs, and then the discipline master. That time there was no counselors. The discipline master catch me. And then he asked me a question because there's only two of us. So he said, "That time, Ginger, do you feel that you are a woman trapped in a man's body?" Oh my God! I said, "Oh yes, that's me." It's like a revolution. That time I was really like, it's like a burst. It's a burst of spark. Oh, I am that phrase. I am that term. And then the discipline master was very shocked because I think during that time he expected me to be like, "Sorry sir, no sir," but I didn't. It's like a revolution to me. I really. It's the love for myself overwhelms me, and it shows to the students. So I was never bullied in school. I really did enjoy a marvelous childhood days, and that bring me, and that kind of experience in school, I extended it to when I stepped into the society, and when people during that time, the 80s, 90s, being gay is very taboo, much like a transgender woman. So stepping into society, and then there will be a lot of catcallings whenever I take the public transport. There will be finger pointings, they will calling me names, and then I actually turn around and say, "Sorry, I'm an off day, no autograph, please." I actually turn it into something very nice, turn it into something very positive, because I refuse to live to the labels. I refuse to live to the labels that you all give me. You're giving the labels transgender. I'm going to excel in it, no? I'm going to live with the labels happily. And talking about labels, we come out to our third, redefining labels. So now I know, you all know, transgender is not about gender identity. Transgender person is a celebration of love and courage. But what if I tell you, I'm a transgender woman, I'm also formerly a sex worker. Stay quiet, Stay quiet. Labels coming in already, preconceived notions, assumptions coming in already. So I am a transgender and also a sex worker, double whammy. So I must be broken in body, broken in spirit. I must be penniless because I spent all my money on drug booze and boyfriends, all girlfriends. I must be HIV positive, not now, maybe in the future. I must be lonely, neglected by my family, no friends, or sex worker, no friends. But I tell you this, you're all wrong. I'm going to take back the power from you. I'm going to reclaim that label, and I'm going to redefine it. Because why? I love myself too much. How can I be broken in body and spirit when I love myself so much? I would never do that to me. So I'm telling you now, I'm a transgender sex worker. I'm financially independent. I'm a transgender sex worker, former, so don't just stop my Facebook, former sex workers. So I'm a transgender, I'm independent. I'm a transgender sex worker. I am a feminist. I am a transgender, former sex worker. I win 2 awards in a year. So in the history of Singapore, in the 50 years history of Singapore, no transgender person has ever won any award. And in 2016, I won the Promising Advocate Award by the Singapore Advocacy Award, and I also won Women's Aware Award for Champion for Gender Equality and Justice. I must tell you this, I'm in 50 years history, I think I'm the only trans woman that win award. And then we came to the next one. I am a transgender, I'm a sex worker, I'm also the co-founder of the T project. It's an NGO, it's a non-profit company, going to be registered hopefully. It's the first social service provider in Singapore that offers a shelter for the homeless transgender community. We claim the labels already or not? Cannot tell, huh? We claim already, huh? So I have power over y'all already, right? Y'all have power over me already. So why? A lot of people ask me what inspired me to set up this NGO, what inspired me to set up the T project shelter. It's love again. This theme of love, all through my talk, is love again. It's because of love. This time for my supportive parents. I see a lot of parents here, and you're going to ask me how my parents accept me as a transgender woman and also as a sex worker. My parents choose love, very simple. Don't need to go to focus group, don't need to go to psychiatrist. My parents very simply, my parents choose love. My parents doesn't see me as a transgender woman. My parents doesn't see me as a sex worker. My parents see the value behind my sex work. My parents see me as their children. In bold italic, children. Whether I'm the son or the daughter, I'm their children. And I also have a sister who is also transgender, and that I can share my love and sorrow with. But too bad, she passed away suddenly in 2015. So now I'm alone and very happy. So I don't have to share the limelight with her. Okay, so going back this. So now I have to tell y'all what is transgender. It's never about the gender identity, never about the physical aspect. What is transgender? It's a celebration of love and courage. And what I want to tell you is, with all these challenges and these difficulties I face in life, I still want to be a trans. I still want to be a trans woman. I'm still happy being a trans woman because the greatest gift in life is to be able to be yourself. Every day, when I wake up as a trans woman and I look into the mirror, I see a happy trans woman. It's like falling in love with myself every single day. And that feeling is simply magical. I am already living a fairy tale life. I wish you all will go out and find your fairy tale life. So this talk is about transgender. I assume you're going to think that this talk is going to be about challenges, difficulties, discrimination, the unfairness. But this talk is about love. This talk is about the story of love. And now you know transgender people. What transgender is a story of love. I'm sure acceptance will come easily. Thank you.